Awakens, and today is the first official live training here in the group. And our topic today is intuitive thinking. So if you're joining me right now, please pop in the comments hello and let me know where you're from and yeah, just say hello and where you're from for right now. So, intuitive thinking, actually, let's just jump right in. Hi, Carolyn. Um, Intuitive thinking is actually it's a way of thinking from being in alignment with your spirit and your soul, being in alignment from your heart space. Hi, Judith. Um, and you know, when we're thinking, um, hi Camille, thank you for joining. So when we're thinking, we typically go to, the left brain, right brain, analytical part, and the thought process, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. We need that. We need that working. We need that operational, yada, yada, yada. Um, However, when we are working through a process, intuitive thinking is incredibly beneficial for us um, when we are making a decision for ourselves and how to approach something, how to handle something, how to um, break a pattern, so to speak. Uh, and sometimes the easiest way that I can use to describe this is, when something happens and we get triggered, it's important to pay attention to the feelings and the triggers that are invoked from the action happening. Um, Yet you don't want to react in the moment based on those emotions. You want to respond, from your truth, from your integrity, from your heart space alignment. Um, and when you're not triggered and you're presented with something and you're trying to choose how to move forward, sometimes the way just isn't clear on either path. And so, my best advice there is just to kind of sit tight a little bit and wait for the way to become clear. So recently, I have experienced this. I am releasing my own sacred project, my own my own solo authored book. And, I had a release party set for the evening of the release date. And with all the different things going around, it was just like, no, I don't feel like it's time to wait, or time to decide yet. So I'm just going to wait because, with it being a week and a half out, um, I just felt like maybe things will calm down. I don't want to jump the gun and cancel it prematurely, blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of sat and hung back on that. Um, Come to find out, things just kind of have been spiraling and whirling around out there. And so, the government made that decision for me as far as like a physical party or what have you. But that is how I use intuitive thinking and my intuition. So, your intuition is something that we are all born with. It is that it's very instinctual, it's a very primal force. So it's easier always to see it in others. It's not something that's necessarily predictive or premonitory, but it's a feeling and a knowing that comes from within. So if you pay attention to our pets or other people's pets, you will notice that most especially dogs, um, they know. They know if somebody's not in a good mood or if they have misplaced intentions, right? At the same for babies. They haven't been conditioned or trained otherwise, so their reaction to certain people is very much on their mood. So I actually have two stories to kind of back up and just to kind of um, validate these a little bit. So when my kids were growing up, we had a yellow lab, and his name was Yeller, and he was not a barker. Like, people came to the door, he didn't necessarily bark or anything like that. He was very gentle, but he was outside playing with the kids one day, and this family was walking up the street, and they were looking for their dog. So of course, the dad was not happy, and all of a sudden the dog felt that energy coming, before the kids noticed that anybody was walking up the street, and he started barking, and the kids knew, oh, this isn't normal behavior. So they came in and got me and said, Mom, Yeller's really barking, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, let's come inside. Let's listen to the dog. Let's trust the dog. It was a great learning lesson all the way around, because the dog warned them, and then they knew and followed their intuition, blah, 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 blah. And so, yeah, I mean, it's very doubtful that, that gentleman would have hurt anybody, or anything, looking for his own dog and walking down the road with his family. But our dog picked up on the anger and the frustration of the gentleman. And so, this is like, right, intuition, gut feeling. So leading into intuitive thinking, which is really vital, especially right now with everything going on. There's a lot of chaos and a lot of fear-based things happening around us. And while I take everything seriously, I am an immune compromised person. I have several family members who are immune compromised. My dad has a blood platelet problem, so of course, he's like one of those critical people. Um, However, that doesn't mean that I have to play into or fall prey to the fear based mentality that is being instilled in the communities and the world around me. Because while I am an immune compromised person, and while I have loved ones um, who are immune compromised, fear is even fear is a lower frequency and a lower vibration, and can do more damage to our physical person um, than anything. It really makes us more susceptible. So I have been really engaging with my intuitive thinking and really staying true to, myself, and continually making, decisions and all of that. And I choose to stay positive and hopeful, and hold and spread and share light to my community, and out and out and out and out, right? As many, many, many of us light workers are doing, through prayer and intention and meditation and all of that good stuff. So we can engage our intuitive thinking. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you for joining. So we can engage our intuitive thinking and really start practicing that different way of being through daily practices. Now, daily practices and routines fall under the it's they're another more common verbiage for a ritual. And a ritual is just something that you practice over and over, in the same way, repetitively. So your daily practice is a ritual. The way that you shower is a ritual. Um, for many, and not all, um, mealtime is considered a ritual. Traditions around family gatherings and holidays are considered a ritual. So they are really, really helpful in helping us establish habits and putting us into different thought, behavioral, and feeling patterns. So, in creating a daily ritual, some things that will help you with your, hi Brenda, some things that will help you um, in tapping into, excuse me, springtime in Michigan is massive allergy uh, happenings for Crystal. So my voice might go out. I apologize. I really have been hydrating. um, so really setting an intention, that's your first step in anything and everything that you do, is really getting super clear and focused on your intention. um, so Brenda, Carolyn, Judith, Jennifer, um, Camille, if you can put into the comments, do you have a daily practice that involves meditation or contemplation or some type of inner connection with yourself? I would love to hear. Oh yeah, allergies. As soon as everything, as soon as everything melts, the mildews and the molds are just everywhere. Um, So, starting with your intention, so some reasons why you would want to really engage and interact and develop that intuitive thinking process, and that intuitive mindset would be to help your inner compass, really, because right, like compasses aren't going to lie, but the person using them has to, know how to read it, so to speak, right? So we have our intuition, those gut feelings, and then we have the thinking, oh, yes, this is what my intuition is telling me. And so now I'm going to follow the path that my inner compass is guiding me through, so to speak. So Brenda says that she has a morning routine that she tries to complete each day. That is beautiful. And the morning is really a wonderful, opportune time because, um, when we wake up, we are very much connected, right? The to-dos haven't necessarily set into our brain space, and the conditioned self or our ego hasn't hijacked our mindset yet. So the morning is really a wonderful time, and also another great time is in the evening. I really like the quietness in the evening when everybody else in the house is either in bed or doing their thing. I enjoy that time, also for this. And then other times that are really wonderful for really checking in and honing and developing that interconnection and really feeling into and embodying that space is when you find yourself not in alignment, and really just taking a few moments for those breaths and the inner visualization to really just, yep, I'm here, I'm anchored here. um, this is what I'm following. This is what is leading and guiding me, and I trust it and I honor it. um, so setting an intention, any kind of formal ceremonial work or like ritual or spiritual work is really great if you begin with your intention and some clearing, right? Some cleansing, some purification. um, So sometimes some people do this in the shower or in the bathtub. There's no wrong way, um, because that is very much a purification and a cleansing time, right? Like we can't distract ourselves with other shiny things. We have muscle memory that we go through with what we're doing. So, spirit knows it has your attention, so it can really speak to you in that way. So, that's a way of opening the channels. Other ways of cleansing your space and cleansing your energy are using smudge and or oils or clearing sprays, your scent, right? Your nose, so to speak. You can actually train your body to, oh, this is the space. The outside world falls away, and this is my bubble, and this is my time to commune with my inner self and, divine source, so to speak. So, those are very powerful ways in which you can clear your energy and your space for connecting within. Just want to kind of check here. Um, yeah. And then you want to, Brenda says, read something inspirational, journal, meditate, yoga, 8 to 10 minutes for each part. I feel much better when I do it. Yeah, that's really powerful. And that's a good solid half hour to 45 minutes. Good for you. Um, And so the other thing that you can do if you're really going into, well, anytime you're doing anything, but most specifically if you're going into a space to really tap in and make some decisions for yourself, really get into that intuitive mindset, is to really set an energetic container. And this is a very powerful way of really just letting your guides know that you mean business and you're really committed to this time. Um, and this can look many different ways. It can be a simple prayer, it can be an invocation, it can be what priestesses and shamans we refer to as a calling in, where you call in, your guides, your guardians. You can call in the directions, um, the elements. Those are the things I always call on. And I always start by saying, I'm calling in, and I set my intention, and then I do my calling in, which doesn't always look the same. Sometimes it's a longer calling in than others, and sometimes it's more detailed than others. There's no wrong way to do it. And then, I go through my process, which I'll talk about in a second. And then at the end, I open up the container by expressing my gratitude for all of those energies that I had called in at the beginning. And in that way, I'm releasing them. I'm like, in other words, it's really letting them know that thank you for the information that you've given me and continue to guide me with, around blah, 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 blah. So while you're in your practice and your ritual, there are several things that you can do and several ways that you can access that intuitive mindset. And Brenda mentioned a few, but before I get into that, I was just would like to know, do in your daily practice, what are some ways that you really set that space? If you can kind of put that into the comments, that would be wonderful. And also, of course, as always, if you have any questions, I would love to answer them while you have me here. And if you're watching the replay, then put hashtag replay and your comment or your question, and I am more than happy to respond. So in order to get into that intuitive mindset, to read a quote or something inspirational or like a daily passage or what have you, Those are really great ways in order to get into that mindset. And then you take that a step farther by really focusing just on the thoughts of that, right? So you're not thinking, what would so and so say? What would so and so do? Oh, I wonder if there's any other articles out there on whatever. You're really like laser focused. Oh, this is what I read. What is this for me? How does this apply for me? How does my energy body, my heart space, and my physical being respond to what I just read, and what messages are in that for me? So it's all, here and within. Um, that is, a different way. And so nothing else, is existing in that space, right? So you've already cleared your mind, you've cleared your space, and this is the one thing that you are focused on. And if it's something that you are um, looking to make a decision on, then that is the one thing. And you're really just going through, like, okay, how does it feel in my body? How does it feel in my being? What guidance comes through when I think of it from this perspective? What guidance comes through when I think of it from this perspective? Now I'm going to look above. Is there something that I can't see from either one of these spaces? That might show itself now? Is there a different way forward that perhaps, I haven't been able to see yet? Um, and so you're really tuning in with all of those intuitive senses about you. So in the physical world, we have our smell, our sight, our touch, our feelings, um, and movement, thoughts, that kind of thing. In the spiritual sense, we have those with our intuition as well. So while something might not physically be present for us to smell, you may be um, that Clara to where you can spiritually pick up a scent, so to speak, right? If you are empathic in any way, um, there might be a feeling that comes through for you. You might be the Clara audio to where you hear in your space, it comes through as like a whisper or a soft voice that isn't your own. Sometimes our guides speak to us through music, or like they'll give us like pop culture references that we're left to um, decipher the symbolism of. And sometimes you can actually see in your mind's eye, just like when you're reading a book, and you get the pictures to the story going. It's like that. That's how you have that inner seeing, so to speak. So it might be showing you other things to decipher as well. Um, so that is how I tap into and utilize my intuitive thinking, and I really get into that mindset to journey, explore, um, something else is right there at the edge that I'm not pulling, different options and opportunities for myself, and different perspectives, and that's where I seek guidance from my database, so to speak, of inner wisdom, right, that I have collected over my lifetime, as well as hearing what my guides and my guardians have to offer for me as well. Um, So do you have any questions so far on this or what's going on? So depending on when you go into this, this space, right? How long you've been there, if anything has come up for you to release, or emotionally, if you felt anything strong, this is a good time to really like. You may want to do another energy clearing before you open up your space or bring your time in the now to a close. And again, that's always done with gratitude, right? Because you want to let the universe know that uh, you are open and ready for more and more and more and more. Um, So, do you have any questions so far, Brenda or Jennifer or Judith or Carolyn? Or any comments? Or perhaps in your practices, there's something that you might want to add to, the intuitive mindset or intuitive thinking. Um, I welcome your feedback and your comments as well. Um, so, this, our intuition isn't just feminine wisdom, but as we gender identify with being female, um, and our feminine energy is dominant within us, um, whether you're male or female, this feminine wisdom, it is feminine wisdom, um, is very powerful, and we as women tend to um, use it more innately and proficiently than we even realize, because we are women, and because we bleed every month, and because we have the ability to um okay, really poor word choice, I think. uh okay, let's go with this: create life within us and birth it through. Whether we have actually gone through that process or not, as soon as we step into, that womanhood with our moon time, um, those senses are heightened for us, and so it is really quite beautiful and even magical how we use this without even knowing. And then once you start learning about it, right, and you get to develop more and more of the languaging and the tools around how to hone those skills and really follow that divine guidance, is really very powerful. It's freeing, empowering, and even though we do our best to describe it, it it's both describable and indescribable in the profound effect that it can have um, on our being and on our journey in this lifetime. So, I've done some, other means of exercising and kind of trying those things on are journaling, because sometimes we need that kinetic action to really allow that intuitive thinking to come through, right? We need to open up that space. So, and this isn't, so maybe you are journaling on one thing specific. Hi, Tara. Thank you for joining. So maybe you are journaling on one thing specifically, but you're not really caught up in am I making full sentences? Am I making sense? Am I using the right words? Um, blah, blah, blah. It's just a very fluid, free writing, and things are coming through for you. And that is really it's clearing the space in your mind, but it's also allowing for those other messages to come through because you're not hung up on syntax and grammar and all those geeky terms that you know, we can bring in, but we won't. um, because, intuitive flow is just that. It's a flow. And sometimes you start in the conscious mind, and then as you're streaming and you're becoming more and more fluid with what you're clearing and what's coming out, um, then that stream of consciousness can come through from your subconscious and from your spirit self. So journaling is very powerful, and yoga and qigong, those are just two off the top of my head. Those are like intuitive meditative flows that you can get into, where you're also moving your body, right? So I mean, there's a reason why they call certain modalities body mind spirit connection, because really it's certain flows and poses um, that really help you tap into um, releasing the ego self or the conditioned self and your patterned habitual thought processes, and really, clear and get into a flow in that way. Um, and so, Brenda, I'm totally just going off of your comments here. Um, Meditation is very powerful, and there are different ways of meditating. Some people can just kind of sit in silence and get to that zero space, because a true deep meditation is just that. You're getting, you're reaching to that space where your mind is still and there are no thoughts, right? But there are other levels of meditation. There's guided meditation that they guide you through for a specific purpose, and that is, I mean, equally as beneficial. Um, there is, putting on like an instrumental type of uh, guided meditation without any words or lyrics or singing, and that is very beneficial too. And then you get two tracks there that you get to choose from. You can either choose to totally check out and let the vibration of the instruments kind of take over, or you can focus on one thought that is positive that you are encoding and wanting to manifest in your being. And then there's something called contemplation that doesn't even involve your closing your eyes. And contemplation is something that you can also get into when you are doing yoga or qigong, or tai chi or what have you, because you're focused on one thing. But contemplation is also, you can put a picture or an image in front of you, and you're just focusing on that. You read a short passage and you're focused on the words of that passage. It's an eye open, relaxed eyelid. It's almost a stare. Like literally your vision kind of blurs, right? Because during this space, you're not, I mean, you're in the here and now, but physically you're energetically tapping into what's on that paper in front of you. And if you are new to doing any kind of meditation or any kind of contemplation, it's really best just to start out small with breathing and getting comfortable, and set the timer for 3 to 5 minutes the first time. And it's really important. So when I'm working with clients, what I do is I kind of walk them through clearing their mind space, right? So, eyes closed, or you're focused on the one thing. And if something pops up in your brain, like, oh, I forgot to, I need to, or, thoughts of anything else, it's like closing an app on your phone or your tablet. You just swipe it away. You're just swiping it away. Yep, I see you. Swipe it away, swipe it away, swipe it away until you get to that one focused point or a clear space where you feel at peace and you're literally peaceful, and just it's a serene scape around you, whatever that is for you. So, does anyone have any questions? I'm not sure if everybody is still with me. If you're with me, if you could give me a heart or um, a thumbs up or something, that would be great. If not, then I know you kind of just went away, and hope that you come back and are able to get what you need from this training today. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I would love your feedback. So, start practicing that intuitive mindset and that intuitive thinking, and, check in and let me know how it goes. I'm really interested. And like I said, I really want everyone to thrive and raise their vibe. And so, really, intuitive mindset and thinking is for all times, in all spaces, in all ways, and not just for now, but definitely intuitive mindset and thinking will help keep you out of the vibration of fear, which is wonderful. Worry is right there next to fear. It's like fear's best friend. So it's not helpful to be in that space either. Um, as I had mentioned at the beginning here, many of my loved ones are immune compromised. And anytime, like, an ounce of worry kind of pops in, I just immediately send it love and like a prayer, like a blessing. Like I cancel it out and raise it up, because I don't want to send that energy out, right? If I'm thinking about, oh, I haven't heard from my dad in a couple of days, and he has really low blood platelets and lots of things there that make him at high risk, immune compromised. I really just say a prayer of protection, and so like I cancel that out, but I'm not leaving nothing there, because the intention of the love and the blessing outweighs everything vibrationally. So, a little bit more than I had intended to go into around intuitive thinking, but I feel like it's needed, and it's something that we can all practice and we can all remind ourselves of. And so, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I will be in here next Tuesday to do another training. And if you already like and follow my Wisdom Awakens page, you may see me hop on and do some lives there too, because I really do want to help everybody keep their vibes up, so that it really fortifies and supports well-being all the way around. um, it's just a really, really important for all of us right now to be actively engaged in raising our vibration, and not being prey to the fear, um, and really taking care of ourselves. And this is something that we can do all the time, but is much needed now, and especially when we are around our family members so much. Hey, we've all been waiting for those times, right? And wanting everybody to kind of do our thing with us. So what a great time and opportunity for them to see you model, and they're going to see the benefits of it, and they're going to feel the difference in you, and in their own way they're going to start coming around. There might be a little bit resistance, but if it's not a forced issue, then they're coming at it in their own time. So we have that to look forward to, and that to practice as well. um, Again, any questions, any comments, please plop them into the conversation here, into the comments, and I will happily come back and address all of those with you. So, on that note, I hope you have a magical rest of your Tuesday. And, I hope you have a fun, happy St. Patrick's Day. Here, I'm still making the corned beef dinner, and I think there are a couple of people coming over so that they can have the dinner, since their normal establishment where they would get it for themselves is not available. Um, so stay safe. Stay happy, stay well, and I will see you soon.